I'm joined now by Ahmed Fouad from our Security, Resiliency, and Platform team. Welcome, Ahmed. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I want to have a quick conversation with you today, especially around not cybersecurity, but the next part of it, which I consider just as critical, if not more so, is cyber resiliency.
Yeah.
When we talk about security, especially in the cyberspace, we always talk about how we prevent and respond to these things. We talk about discovery. We talk about IRR, for example. In IRR, we have incident response and recovery. I want to really focus on the recovery piece with you. What is happening that is making recovery, or let's put it this way, cyber resiliency, the most critical factor today for our customers?
See, first of all, you mentioned something that's very critical, the misperception of the security part, the prevention part. I always believe, or customers all believe, listen, if I'm doing the first line of defense, I'm good. No, cyber recovery is about after the fact, what to do after you're already being attacked. Why is it critical? Because I want to guarantee and maintain my business continuity. So this is what you need to be thinking about. So the recovery part is very critical. Why? Because it gives me that strategy on what to do in case of an attack. Who does what? It's like more or less if it's a game plan, if you wish, and it's very well orchestrated and very well designed and predefined as well.
So if we take it, let's double click into that and look at two aspects. I'll start first with when you look at how you deploy the solution for cyber resiliency, complete end-to-end solution, what are the key points you need to look at from a solution point of view first, and then we'll talk about organization afterwards.
First of all, you need to have a so-called cyber recovery vault. It's an air-gapped, isolated, a physically and logically isolated environment. This is number one. Number two, you need to have a predefined strategy, as I said. So-called runbooks, which is exactly the game plan. In case of an attack, who has, the keys to the kingdom, if you wish, to do that recovery part? Who do I need to call first? What is my, let's say, security recovery plan? Who is responsible for which part? Who is actually authorized to take decisions on behalf of the business, right?
Okay.
And then also decide which critical applications are needed to maintain and guarantee this business continuity. So it's not a product that you plug and play. No, it's a full strategy that involves a lot of stakeholders in each business, in each institution, and they need to align on one strategy. Why? Because it affects everybody today.
So you talked about the vault, you talked about the run books, which I think is maybe the most critical part, right?
Absolutely.
In an emergency situation, what we want to go to is a defined procedure to be able to recover quickly and consistently with minimum mistakes, right? And I think this is a critical part. The part I worry about a lot is, okay, I have my vault, so I have this concept of a immutable, isolated golden copy. But what if I copied the wrong data to it anyways? Or maybe the bad actors already infected my environment and have copied this across. What do I do then?
Very good question, because can I guarantee that my backup today, which attackers, look at today, they don't look at applications anymore, they look at your backup. Why? Because if you cannot recover, your business is not running anymore. And it will take you time to recover. Why? Because you need a clean copy, as you said. All right, so can I guarantee today that my backup, so the front end part of it, or the production part of it, is clean? No, I can't, because there might be, as you said, a malware, and we've seen a trend on the market across many industries. Let's say if you implement something, you don't execute it immediately. It takes somewhere between 3 to 6 months. Okay. Why? Because it learns behaviors. And then after that, you can be sure that this copy will go with the backup copy into the vault.
Okay.
But in the vault, we have a AI designed intelligent. It's a software that reads and learns from all those patterns from your backup, from the data. So the first copy that it reads, breathes, and look at is your data. So once these parameters changes, once anything changes in that nature, it will cut the communication. It will give you an alert or an alarm and tells you something is wrong here.
Okay.
And all this is AI based.
All right.
Especially that nowadays within the AI era, the attackers are also, how to say, building their attacks based on AI technology as well. So it's not only from a customer side, also from the attacker side, from the ransomware side.
So we've covered, what you've explained to me so far. We have an isolated vault that's immutable, that has an intelligence engine on top of it, AI driven, to be able to detect malware injections or ransomware injections.
I don't use diffuse.
Or yeah, exactly. Now, my question becomes, okay, let's say worst case scenario happens. I got attacked. My active data or my environment is corrupted or compromised. We have the vault and we know it's a golden copy and it's clean and we have the right operating procedure. My concern generally comes out, okay, great, but if I want to recover my minimum viable enterprise, like you said, but I don't know the state of my current infrastructure or my application's readiness, or how secure is my environment? Are the bad actors still inside? Do they still have access? Because the root cause analysis can take a long time to figure out where they came in from. So how do we give the customer the ability to recover their minimum viable enterprise using that golden copy in a secure and clean way?
Well, you said the magical word, clean. So you would need a quarantined or a clean environment where you have or you rebuild this minimal viable organization. You see, if we go 2 steps back, in the prep work for the Vault, we tiered down applications. Those are the critical applications I need in case of an attack.
Right.
So let's say you have 400 applications. Do I need them all on day one? Of course not. Let's say 50 of them. So you build that clean environment, that clean infrastructure with the minimum or the minimal infrastructure that can guarantee me my business, to keep going.
Yeah.
And then you take this gold copy, as you said, this clean copy, you ingest it there and you build that organization. Why? Because even if you don't know what's happening in your production environment, but you might have some forensic work that needs to be done first.
Okay.
You might even have the infrastructure ready, but you're not allowed to touch it. Why? Because there are some extra forensic work going on where it says, we need to find out where did it come from. As you said, is the bad actor still on campus or not anymore?
Got it. So let me ask you one more thing before I let you go. So we've kind of built the scenario of recovering from a cyber attack in terms of we have the right infrastructure, the right run books, the clean room, like you said. My question then becomes, how do I, and you know what happens in an organization, what tends to happen is we first want to be capable, and as we mature, we want to make it the recovery faster and faster and faster. Because if I'm a bank or a telco or a government agency, when I'm down, I'm affecting millions of people and their service level. And this is very stressful for an organization, and survivability depends on how fast your operation gets back up and running. What are some of the things that you've seen customers do to keep increasing their maturity to be able to recover from a cyber attack faster and faster? What would you give them as the number 1 or 2 recommendations?
First of all, is agree on a strategy. It's a strategy that involves a lot of stakeholders. You need to agree on that strategy. Number 2 is do those tests. If you have a clean room already in place, you need to do those recovery tests. Why? Because if you want to minimize or summarize, let's say, the 2 main objective around cyber recovery strategy in general is 2 questions. Question number 1, in case of an attack, can I recover? If the answer is yes, how much time do you need?
Exactly.
Once you answer those questions, then you can, minimize why. It's like, when you rehearse something, you keep rehearsing till you master it. And then, so I better sweat, in a non-critical time,
exactly,
than rather, go and know what to do.
So keep practicing, basically. Run those drills, do the tests.
Optimize the strategy, and we're always there to help. Because why? Because we see different trends across different industries. And with all, the new evolvement and technology innovation that is happening, we see this firsthand. So we can go and help customers, from a best practice perspective, say, let's optimize, these parameters. Let's work on this strategy again after a couple of years. What changed? What did you learn? So it's a, it's a two-way partnership, if you wish. Yeah.
I think that's the right word, partnership, to make sure everyone is more and more comfortable and secure. Great. Thank you, Ahmed. Really appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
Great seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Take
sir.
care. See you soon.